welcome to my channel. If you're new, if you're not new, then still hi, nothing changes there. Today's a little bit different video from normal YouTubers videos. It's about type 1 diabetes. If you didn't know, I am a type 1 diabetic and have been for about 10 months now, I think, almost a year. So I am new to it. Anything I say in this video, please don't take it the wrong way. I may be incorrect about certain things. I'm not 100% sure on certain things, but the information I do give out will be the information that I know to be true. I have got a level 2 course in it now. I did do that after I was diagnosed just to be more aware of it, so I do know quite a few things, but please don't be scared by this video. Also, I am really sweating. I've had to shut my windows because my neighbours are really noisy. My mum's downstairs with the TV on about a million. That's all I can hear, and I'm hoping this video doesn't pick it up, so if it does, I apologise. I posted this morning on my Instagram just asking if anyone's got any questions, because I do get daily messages from people who are worried that they might have diabetes or who have it and want some advice. So I thought I'd do that on my Instagram and just answer the questions I have and the questions I get a lot. I'm gonna go into the ones I wrote down first, which I've got through TikTok and just my friends asking me when I was diagnosed, etc. And answer them as best as I can, and then I'm gonna go on to the ones on Instagram, if that makes sense. So let's go. It's too hot in here. This video is probably going to be really long, so get your drink. This is sugar free. If you know, you know. What was my symptoms? That's where it begins. So I'll go into more detail of how I was sort of diagnosed and all that stuff in a different video, because that's quite traumatic and long, and I don't think I'm ready to sort of talk about that in depth. But my symptoms, and when you are diabetic, these are the symptoms, is extreme thirst, going to the toilet a lot, like an excessive amount, weight loss as well, and people don't talk about this, but thrush is actually a symptom. Before I was diagnosed, I got told I had it. They didn't pick up about the diabetes. Obviously you just get medication and it's gone, so it's fine, but yeah, thrush is a symptom if you didn't know. And also cramp. Not a lot of people talk about that, but cramp is a massive one. It was always in the back of my legs, and the pain would, the cramp would come on, I'd wake up from the pain, and then I would be aching, my leg would be sore and aching for days, like, because it was so painful. I don't actually know what it does to your body when you have that pain. Okay, another question. How is type 1 different to type 2? Type 1 diabetes is a lot different to type 2 diabetes in different ways. People call type 1 the worst one and also the better one, so it contradicts itself. But type 2 diabetes is when it happens through your diet and exercise and things like that. It's usually like larger people that get it. Everyone sort of has the stereotype when you have diabetes that you are a larger person. I'm not saying everyone with type 2 diabetes is large, because that's not correct, that's not at all, but you know, the stereotype is there, hence why I'm now doing TikToks and YouTube, because I want to cut that. It's not what diabetes is. Type 1 is where your pancreas basically gives up on you. I have obviously done my level 2 course in it, and it is said that they don't know why you get it, but it is because of a like a virus in your body. So if you got ill from something, then it attacks your pancreas and your pancreas dies, type thing. Again, don't hold me to that, that's what I learned, that's what I answered, and I got it right. So that's how it's different, basically. One of them, basically, in short terms, type 1 is where your pancreas just gives up on you, and type 2 is where you basically neglect your pancreas. Like, not neglect your pancreas, but you're not looking after yourself, so your pancreas fails on you. And you can reverse it with type 2. Type 1, that's it, you're insulin dependent for life. So that's the difference. Another question is, how did I react when I was diagnosed / cope? So I will go into more detail on that one as well, because I don't think it has fully hit me. I mean, I know, like, I'm dealing with it and it's fine, but I have good days and bad days. It's, you know, it's a change of life, so anyone's going to react not great, but because of the traumatic way I found out, I was just grateful that I survived, to be honest. I handled it quite well. I've never been afraid of needles, to be fair, so that wasn't a big thing, and I have the mindset sort of, if you've got to do it, just do it. If I keep looking, it's because my window's here. If you've got to do something, just do it. If you keep thinking about it, you're not going to do it. And when I was in hospital, before I was allowed to leave, I had to inject myself. So I just did it as fast as I could. I wanted to get out of there. So yeah, and sometimes I have a good day, which are really good. I feel on top of the world, I feel amazing. And other days, certain things get to me and I worry about the life I might live with having it and the complications that come along with type 1 diabetes. People react in different ways. Okay, another one was, does it hurt when you inject? Now, sometimes I'll inject, and I mean the needles, people have different size needles. My needle's like not that big, it's quite small. Sometimes when I inject, it won't hurt one bit. I'll take it out and I'm bleeding. It's only a little bit of blood, it's not like crazy. But there'll be other times where I inject and it hurts. Like I'll be like not like painful, but sort of like a sting. And I'll do that and it won't bleed at all. It's very confusing. I've had times where in a week I've had bruises all over my stomach, and then I've had, like now, I think I've got one bruise there, but it genuinely, it doesn't hurt. And for anyone that's new to it, don't be scared. 90% of the time it doesn't hurt, and that's a big portion of the time. Usually does not hurt. With injecting as well, you have to rotate where you inject. You can do it in your arms, in your thighs and your stomach. I don't do it in my arms because I've never done it and I'm a baby. And I've also done it in my leg, I think, twice. What other questions? Can I still eat sweets? Yes. So with type 1 diabetes, I can still eat and drink and whatever I want. I mean, I know this is sugar free, but I can't taste the difference between the two, so I'd rather just get the sugar free version. But with other things that I can taste the difference in, I will just have less of it, if that makes sense. So say I could completely taste the difference between this and the regular Red Bull with sugar in. I would have half the Red Bull, for example. But no, I can still eat sweets. I can still have cake, Caspers, all that good stuff, which is lucky with type 1 diabetes, because type 2 you're more restricted. I can eat what I want, but I have to inject the right amount. And when you're first diagnosed with diabetes, you're not going to know what the right amount is. I still struggle. Like, my sugars right now are 11.2. I did just eat an ice cream, to be fair. But as long as I inject the right amount, I can eat what I want. I'm not restricted. And it's not because I ate loads of sweets when I was younger, because I know a lot of people say that, and it's not. It is literally a case of my pancreas gave up on me. But yes, I can eat what I want, sugary, whatever, as long as I inject. What does it affect and can it affect? This goes along with a question I had the other day. Sorry if you can see my fingers. Which was asking me what affects me about being diabetic, like why do I get upset some days. I would definitely recommend doing the type 2 course in diabetes if you can. There is an online course that you can do, but be prepared to not be scared, but be prepared to hear things you don't want to hear. For example, and I'm not trying to scare anyone when I say things like this is just what I know and what people should know who have it or want to know about it and things. When you're pregnant, for example, there's higher chances of stillbirth and miscarriages and things going wrong. There's a higher risk of things like heart attacks, losing limbs, things like that. It goes on, and it's scary. Like, it is scary to know that that can happen. But as long as you stay on track with your sugar levels and you go to the meetings and do all that stuff, you will be fine. Like, I was so scared once I did the course. There were moments when I'd be doing it and turn around to my boyfriend and just cry and just say, like, this is my life now, this is going to be hard. It was sort of like a whoa, like, this is my life. But just because I've got type 1 diabetes, I'm still me. I'm still going to do what makes me happy, and I'm still living my life. I'm not going to spend every day crying because of something that could happen. As long as I prevent it happening by staying on track today, everything will be okay. And it's not just with type 1 or any chronic illness or any illness, to be fair. It's your mind as well. Like, you need to look after your mental health as much as you look after your body, because things like that can really affect you mentally. And I do think when it comes to illness and being in hospital and coming out and your life changing and things, there should be more help for your mental health as well. Because I've had a lot of appointments for diabetes. I have had quite a few, but it hasn't been about my mental state, and I think I could have done with that at one point. Do you have to check your blood? Yes, so, right. Normally, sorry, that's the chair squeaking, it's a really rubbish chair. With diabetes, obviously you have to check your sugar levels, and to do that you need blood. So you have to prick your fingers. Okay, that's the old way of doing it now that we're in, like, modern day, but pricking your fingers is what most people do. I luckily have a Freestyle Libra. If you don't know what that is, it is this little gadget here. Try and get close, but yeah, it's just a round thing on my arm that connects to my phone. Now, when I found out about this in hospital, I knew nothing about it. Obviously I knew about diabetes, but I didn't know that this was a thing. What I do on my phone is I have this app which I connect to, and I just put here, god, this is going to be hard to show, isn't it? Like, check glucose, just scan it, and then it's 12.1, sorry, yeah, that was backwards, so confusing, 12.1, and it goes orange when it's a little bit high, and then say that was 13, it would be red, and if it went low, it would be red, because low's very, I mean high is bad, but low's very bad. It's meant to be in the green, if you can see this little green thing here. Obviously all day I haven't been, so I probably shouldn't be telling you information, because clearly I'm not very good at maintaining my sugar levels, but it can be really hard. Am I insecure about the Libra? So when I first came out of hospital, this is going to sound so silly and so just modern day world girl, but I was most annoyed about that. Like, what went through my head at that time, I don't know, but I was thinking, like, I've got this thing on my arm, people are going to be like, what's that? What the hell was that? Like, you're weird, you've got a piece of metal in your arm, all this stuff. A, nobody even notices, and B, now I'm sort of out the first stages of it, I like it when people notice. Some people notice and they're like, oh my god, my cousin has that, or are you diabetic because blah blah said about that, and I can recommend it and talk about it and talk about diabetes and give advice and help. I like talking about it. I do believe it takes someone strong to deal with it in the way I am, and I am really proud of myself. But if I can just help one person, like just by doing this video right now, if one person sees it and that person gets one of these or messages me and says thank you, or that video helped, or messages me, finds me through this video and asks for advice, it honestly, I can't describe how happy and just emotional it makes me, to be honest. Why don't I use a pump? I've got this a lot. If you don't know what a pump is, it is like it's basically like this but a bit bigger. I'm pretty sure it goes on your stomach and it does the insulin for you. The reason I don't have a pump is because I'm okay with the injections. I'm okay doing that. I feel confident doing it in public. I mean, the other week I was in a really bougie restaurant and I just did it. I don't it's no different from having a child and having to get your breast out and feed your child. It's no different. I get my belly out and I have to put insulin in. That's all it comes to. What does a hypo feel like? How do I describe it? Imagine you're starving. Like, this is for me anyway. I know some people can feel different, but for me, imagine you're starving, like you haven't eaten in about 4 weeks. It's probably extreme, but you're hungry, like things you even hate you want to eat. That's what it feels like, as well as shaking like mad and sweating. I think that's all I feel. Like basically like I'm gonna pass out as well. So that's what a hypo feels like. I don't recommend it for anyone. I know people who have messaged me who have had it and commented and said it's the worst. It is the worst, and it's scary because you can go into a coma through it. So you need to get that sugar in your system ASAP. See what the next question is. Do I feel judged? No. Don't really know what more to say about that. No, I've had so much love and support from my family, through messages, through TikTok. I've been supported, and I know a lot of people are, and that's why I say that I am here. But no, I don't feel judged. I think if someone was to come up to me and be nasty about it, I don't think that would make me sad. I think it would make me angry for other people that have it, because I can hold my ground if I need to, and I will say what I need to say to make that person realise that they're not being nice and they're not a good person for saying things. But I know a lot of people would just feel rubbish. They would just break. It would hurt them a lot. I know that. So it would make me angry if someone was to judge me for it. How often do I have to change the lever? So this stays on me for 2 weeks. What it is it's round and it's got a needle in it, and you've got to like do all the mechanics. It doesn't take long. And it's got a needle in it, and once this is out, I just go 1, 2, 3, push it in. If you go over to my TikTok, which I'll link down below, there's a video of me doing it on there. It lasts 2 weeks. I have had a lot of people say that theirs has fallen out and how do I keep mine on, but I haven't had any issues with it. The only thing I had is once I took it off, and I use baby oil to take it off because it's really sticky, and then I cleaned it with the anti-bac wipe, but obviously it didn't take off all the stickiness, so once I put the second one on, it came off quite quick. That's the only issue I've ever had with it. On Amazon, if yours does come off, you can get stickers for it, and I know there's a company on TikTok girl over here, that do like really pretty ones that you can put over it. I think a lot of kids get them because obviously when you're a kid you probably pull it off, or when you're playing and stuff. Can I inject through clothing? No, the needle is not big enough to go through clothing, unfortunately. So I do have to get my stomach out, or if I'm wearing shorts like now, I'll just lift it up. How do I know how much to inject? Because I might not eat the full meal. Usually I can gauge how hungry I am to how much to inject. Obviously if there's a big meal there and I'm thinking I'm not that hungry, I'm not going to eat this all, probably go for around 4 units. But if it's a big meal, say a pizza, and I'm going to eat the whole thing, I'll probably do about 6. if I end up not eating it all, then I'll keep an eye on my sugars, or if I end up eating it when I didn't think I would, I will also keep an eye on my sugars. So it's just getting the hang of knowing what I'm going to eat. At the beginning of the video I said that someone asked what my ratio to units in carbs is. So for every 10 carbs I should do 1 unit is what I've been told. I do stick by that usually, but I sort of do it so I learn on the job basically. I think that's what you need to do. That's the advice I give people who are diabetics. If I'm eating, say, a Happy Meal from McDonald's, for example, it's the only thing I can think of right now, which is really odd, I will inject, say, 4, because that's what I came out of hospital doing with meals, and then check my sugars after, and then write down the meal that I injected for, what my sugars was, so next time I know what I need, if I need more, if I need less. That makes sense. I was diagnosed a month ago. Do you have any tips for starting drinking again? Drinking is hard, especially if you don't have a lever. This is why I recommend these so much. When I'm out, I can just check it, go into the toilet, inject if I need to. It makes me sound like I'm doing something dodgy. And fix it. Whereas obviously if you're out drinking, you need to prick your finger if you don't have a lever, which is obviously a bit more difficult. Drinking wise, nowhere has things like sugar-free lemonade. Nowhere. I wouldn't even bother asking, they just don't. And I usually have like flavoured vodka and lemonade, so that's a bit tricky. Wine full of sugar. The things I would go for when drinking are things like spirits, non-flavoured. And if you're going somewhere where you feel comfortable or whatever, take your own bottle of sugar-free lemonade if you're worried, or Coke or whatever fizzy drink you mix with. I know champagne does not raise my sugars and I absolutely love it, but it's expensive. So if I want to go out and want a bottle of champagne, it's like £60+, and I can't justify that when I just want to have one. Like, I don't want a bottle, but not a lot of places just do it by the glass. So that's the only advice I have with drinking, really. But if you do prick your finger, always take that out with you. You know that anyway if you do that. But always take it out on a night out, even like take it, even if your bag's not big enough, get a bigger bag, because it can be so dangerous having diabetes and you need to look after yourself. So I'd recommend take it with you, and every hour just go into the toilet, check your sugars. I know it hurts, I know it's going to bruise your fingers and stuff, but if you want to go out drinking and you don't have one of these, that's the only thing I can think of that would be best. Not every hour, maybe every 2 hours. It depends how long you're out for, doesn't it? Like, circumstances matter. But just go into the toilet every now and then. Try and check it if you can. If you feel a bit weird, check it. Always take your insulin. If you're feeling low, which you shouldn't if you're drinking like sugary drinks, then get something sugary. That's the only advice I can possibly give. And that will be the end of this video. There's probably a million questions I haven't answered, so I'll probably have to do a part 2 in the future, but I hope this helped anyone, just one person, just a little bit. Thank you for watching, and I've got some fun content coming soon, so please subscribe.